So good morning, we'll get started. I want to welcome you to this webinar presentation of how to navigate the Caltrans website to find opportunities. My name is Michelle Gongora and I am joined here with my colleague Danko. Ann is the retired business management branch chief for Caltrans District 5 and assisted with the initial implementation of the Caltrans Small Business Program for the Central Coast of California. I am the business services manager for District 11, which services San Diego and Imperial counties. Ann will be guiding you in this presentation, and after each section, we will break for a question and answer portion. During the live webinar, please use the chat feature to send in any questions you may have. I will be monitoring them as they come in. We do have a lot of participants, so we will get to as many questions as possible. At the end of the webinar, if you feel your questions were not answered, you can email smallbusinessadvocate@dot.ca.gov, and I'll post that in the chat box. The Caltrans Office of Civil Rights monitors that inbox and will respond to your inquiry. During this presentation, helpful links will be shared via the chat box. The webinar is being recorded and will be made available on the Caltrans District 5 YouTube channel by mid-June. Take it away, Ann.
Good morning and welcome. This webinar provides a fairly detailed look at how to find contracts using the Caltrans websites. And please be assured that we are going to send you a PDF of this presentation along with other helpful links in a follow-up email, so you don't feel like you have to take a lot of notes while we're going through the slides. So let's get started. The websites all link back to the Caltrans home website, which you can see here, which is dot.ca.gov. Caltrans is made up of 12 districts throughout the state. Here's a map and you can kind of see where you might fall in those districts. And each district, the projects for that district are listed by their district number, a 2-digit number for all of the different contracts. And we'll see that in a little bit on an actual contract listing. Each district also has at least one district small business liaison. That list is updated continuously by the Office of Civil Rights in our headquarters in Sacramento, because they have the small business program in their office. The first thing I want to talk about is you need to be ready to work on public works in California by registering or creating accounts online to be able to do that. So the first is with the Department of Industrial Relations. About 5 years ago, through legislation, a contractor registration was created for all public works businesses, and it's an annual fee. It's $400 plus you have to register your business, and that starts on July 1 of every year. If you don't feel as though you are going to do any work this year, you can wait until July 1st to sign up with the Department of Industrial Relations. And the link is here, as well as this is what the website will look like. And you simply go into register or renew your registration here, since it is an annual registration. The second thing we'd have you do is create a Bidding Connect account, and that's with Caltrans. And you first go to the Office of the State Engineer, which is the website here. And that's where that account and the advertised contracts reside. When you get to the engineering services website, you click on the tab above that's Work with Caltrans. When you get there, you can see on the side a group listing called Contractors Corner. We're going to spend a little time at different sites in the Contractors Corner, and it's designed to help contractors group things that are relevant to you in that particular part of the website. And for this exercise here, will go to the tab that's Caltrans Bidding Connect. When you reach there, when you reach the Caltrans Bidding Connect, it's a free service. You just have to register your business. You'll create a username and a password. And with all of the state website accounts that you create, make sure you use or keep track of your username and passwords, because they're hard to get back into if you don't have that information. So you create an account here. If you don't have one, you can log in here to change information if you already do have an account. When you get in there, you're going to see that you create username, password, which are already in the system, but one of the most important things is your email. Make sure that the email is a company email, such as info@ or contact@. If you use the email of an individual, say the person who created the account, and then that person leaves the business, your emails will go to a dead email box. So try to use an email that anybody from your company can get into. And then you'll put your contact information, your names, address, phone numbers, fax numbers, and then if you have any disadvantaged statuses, such as disadvantaged business enterprise, disabled veteran business enterprise, or small business enterprise. Then if you have any contractors licenses, those go in here. And this is just a snapshot of the first screen. There are other screens to process through, and make sure that you fill this out completely. The third one we're going to go to is to create an electronic bidding account. Once again, we're going to go back to the Contractors Corner, and you click that link. And if you look at the bottom here, there's an active link to take you to the Internet Bidding Setup link. That link will help you create a digital ID. And the most important part of this statement, if you look, the process of establishing a digital ID can take 10 days or 7 days or longer. You'll not be able to submit bids until it's completed. So make sure you do this long before you need to get into the system to bid a contract. Infotech is the company that works with AASHTO to create this software, and they provide you with a lot of information and helpful hints on how to make that system work. And also, Caltrans has an electronic bidding guide at this web link that will answer most and almost all of your questions about bidding on contracts. So this brings us to our first section of question and answer, which we're going to have sprinkled throughout the presentation. Michelle, are there any questions yet?
No, there are not. Please,
All right.
everyone submit any questions to the chat box, and I will read them to Anne as we take a break. Thank you.
Great. The next section, we're actually going to look at an advertised projects. Once again, we're going to go to the Office Engineer website. When we go there, we'll click on Work with Caltrans, and then we'll look at all projects currently advertised. This is a complete list for the entire state, and every Monday morning is when the new jobs are posted. They don't trickle in through the week. On Monday morning is when they get posted. When you come to that website, you're going to notice a lot of different information. If you see these small icons, they say new, and on a live website, they'll be flashing. And make sure you take note of anything that has a new symbol to make sure you're up to date on all information. Then you simply scroll down on this particular page, and you will come to where you can look for the actual contracts. You can jump to a project by simply clicking in here and scrolling to that project. You can start typing a project number if you know what number you're looking for. But they, as you can see here, the 2-digit numbers, they start with District 1, which is headquartered up in the Eureka Humboldt area, and they will go all the way through District 12. If you know a contract number, you can actually start typing the district. I simply type 12 here, and then once you see the contract you're looking for, you can simply click on Jump to Project and it takes you directly to that particular project. And this is what a Caltrans ad looks like. Caltrans ads, we try to give you as much information as we can on the face of the contract, and then you can see all these live links that we'll go through one at a time that are part of each and every bid. But this one, you can see it tells you that it's to widen the freeway and bridges and reconstruct bridge walls. It's in District 12, which is in Orange County. It's on Highway 5, Interstate 5. And the post-mile areas are from 17.1 to 19.9. And tells you when it was advertised in May and when the bid opening will be in June. And the engineer's estimate of cost for this job is $110 million. And then just a small synopsis of the job and what will be done. Then we also tell you here if there are certain licenses that this will require for the business to have. And for this one, there's C8 and C12. It's going to take approximately 1,000 working days. And there will be a 13% DVBE requirement for this job, which means that a contractor will have to sub at least 13% of his bid to disadvantaged business enterprises in order to qualify to be the successful bidder on this job. This particular one has a mandatory pre-bid meeting. And the pre-bid meeting is a meeting that happens that all of the prime contractors are required to attend. And we also set it up so it's a forum for the small disabled veteran or disadvantaged businesses in order for them to contact and meet the prime contractors. So we're going to get started at looking at all the different links that are available for you to have or to use. The list of bid items is a chronological list of everything that's going to happen on that contract. So if you click on that link, you'll come to a list such as this. And this list, it starts from the very beginning of a contract. Progress schedules, time-related overhead, construction area signs. And this snapshot is the beginning, but yet it goes chronologically with hundreds of different bid items. And this is where I suggest a small or disadvantaged business would go in to look at all the different items and see if there's something that they could be a sub to this prime contractor and provide that work for them. The second thing that is on the bid item or ad is project plans and special provisions. These, you can see the actual project plans and any other specifics by clicking on this link, and it will take you to a list that are live links to the plans, the specifications, and anything you need to know about the job specifically. The next thing, if you want to, say, be a sub or you're a prime and you want to have the forms to bid this job, you simply click on this link and it will take you to a link to get those electronically. You used to have to write us an email and pay us money and we would send them to you in the mail, but now you can actually just download them in your office. The next link is for bidder inquiries. This is a fairly new link, but what we do is we publish any questions that have been asked about specifics for each job. We want to be completely transparent on our questions, and yet we want them all in the public sector. So we don't take emails to individuals about particular jobs. We ask that you put any of your questions in the bidder inquiries section. And this brings you to a list that actually has every single question that's asked about this contract, and then the answers once they've researched and found the answers. So this particular one has 8 inquiries, but yet the screenshot only shows 2. But you can scroll through and see anything and everything that's been asked about this particular contract by the senior engineer of that district who has direct knowledge of that particular job or project. The other thing that we have is if there has been a change to the plans or specs or any new information, an addenda will be added to the contract. And if there is an addenda, that's a live link that then would take you to the list of addendum that are for any particular job. Once again, just like this plans and specs, it's a live link. You can click on it, read it, print it, and have it in your office. So this brings us to our second question and answer. Do we have any questions at this point?
We do have several questions. One of the participants is confused about the $400 fee. I'm assuming that's for the Department of Industrial Relations.
Right.
They want to know if it's free to set up an account, but they want to understand what the cost is for.
The cost is for administrating with the Department of Industrial Relations, and part of signing up is the fee. So that's why we suggest, if you don't plan on doing jobs right now, wait until July when the new year turns for that registration, but it is a required fee.
Next question, are these Caltrans ads also posted on Cali Procure? If so, are they all posted to Cali Procure, or if only a selected number is posted?
Most of our jobs are huge multi-million-dollar jobs, and they are posted on the Caltrans website. We'll be talking a little bit later about some of our small jobs, smaller jobs, minor Bs, our architectural and engineering jobs, and those are posted on Cali Procure.
Thank you, Anne.
Okay, we're going to go into the next section. And the first section that we are going to go into is the opt-in. And the opt-in is a section where small businesses can offer their help to the primes in order to offer their help on the job, say for some of the bid items that are there. So you click that active link, and this is where your Caltrans Bidding Connect account comes in. And you have already created this information. Make sure your disadvantaged statuses are clicked, and then make sure this particular box is completed. And this is where you put the materials or the type of work that you are offering to the prime, because I've seen in a lot of these the opt-in records, and that's blank, and they haven't offered anything to the prime. So it's important that this is filled out so that the prime knows what you do for your business and how it will help in this particular job. And then you can actually go into the advertisement again and see all of the records of all the firms who have opted in and what they're offering to the prime. So you can see here, this snapshot, there are 33 opt-in records that were found. These are the first 2, and it says right here what they're offering to the prime. The next thing is the primes actually use their Bidder Connect account as well to advertise for help, and you can look at what the contractors are asking for. So on this particular site, there's 8 contractors who are potentially going to bid this contract. And they just basically have a laundry list of all the things that they're willing to sub out on any particular job. And they are looking for subcontractors who can help them fulfill the requirements like I talked about on that first bid, the 13% DVBE requirement. This is what they're looking for, this bidder, and then they just have a laundry list of what they want and what they need. The next thing you can look at is you can see which contractors have actually pulled a bidding packet. And this particular job, there are 3 contractors that have intentions to bid. And you can see all who they are, their contact information from their address, a phone number, a fax number, and that they have pulled a bidding packet versus a non-bidding packet. Once again, we're back to Q&A. Do you have any other questions about the advertisements?
I do have a question. We have a photographer who's asking if they would be best served by going through Cal eProcure versus the Caltrans website.
I'm not sure what they're asking going through Registry.
I believe going through like Contractor's Corner, which on occasion our contracts do require some aerial photography. So
right. With the advent of drones, there are some of our contracts that do have drone footage. So it doesn't hurt to look in the bid items to see if there's a contractor is looking for that type of work. But you can also, if you're certifiable for being a small business, you can go that way also, and we'll talk about that in a little bit.
And we have another question. Do companies that will always fall into the subcontractor category have to pay the DIR registration fee, or is that only for primes?
It's anybody that is doing public works here in California. And so the prime and the subs all have to be registered with the Department of Industrial Relations.
Next question, are bonds required on most projects?
Most projects do have bonding, and it's in the contract, but often the primes will help with bonding, but all of that is spelled out in the specifics of each particular contract.
Next question, are biological surveys ever posted here?
Most of the biological surveys are on Cal eProcure. We have biological jobs, but if this particular job has a biological element, it may be in the bid item. So it's good to look in both spots.
Another question, can we quickly review how a subcontractor lets a prime know the categories they want to bid?
We can look back up. It's in the opt-in. So if you go to opt-in, you click here, you come to this particular space and it's for opt-in. And this box is where you will input all of the things you're offering for that particular job. And these are connected directly to a job. So you're not just spamming contractors, you're actually putting directly onto the job that it's requesting. And this particular one was for District 1.
Thank you, Ann.
Okay, so we're going to steam along then into looking for some of the other resources and links that will help you. Back in engineering services, back to the Contractor's Corner. There's, on the face of that, you scroll down and there's several tabs you can look at. This particular thing we're looking at are after the contract's awarded, you can actually look at post-bid files, which means you can actually look at the contract bid packages, who was the successful bidder, and actually look at the bid books. This is a real good resource for a small business who's new to contracting with the state or any other public agency. You can see how the bid books are organized. You can see how a sub's bid is incorporated into the bid book. And it's really a good way to see how it was done in the past and how the successful contractors' bids look like. There's a lot of other things on here that we'll go through in detail in a moment, but you can look at all the different aspects of what Caltrans has. From the interest registry, there's contract standards you can actually download, and we'll go into some of these in more detail. And the first one is the Caltrans Contractor Interest Registry. And this registry it's a free registry, and all you're doing is you're connecting with Caltrans to say that you are willing to work in the event of an emergency. So you can sign up here to potentially be contacted in an emergency. So you click here, and this is several pages long as you scroll through. But basically, once again, you're telling Caltrans, your firm, your contact information, what contractors' license numbers you hold, what type of licenses, do you have bonding, and what type of coverage of bonding do you have. In further slides, it also talks about what type of equipment you have, what are you willing to roll in the middle of the night, 24 hours a day. The Contracts Interest Registry is mostly used when there's storms, an earthquake, things where the road has been destroyed and we need to get it fixed, and we need to get it fixed fast. And every district has a district emergency work coordinator, and those are usually in one of our engineering offices, and these engineers look to the Contract Interest Registry to find firms who are willing to roll in the middle of the night and come and help us get the roads open. And they need as much information as you can give them, so make sure that the interest registry is filled out completely. The next thing, if you're looking to see what is Caltrans planning to do, what's coming up, we post a 12-month advertising schedule, which is based, once again, on districts. It's listed by district. This starts at District 4 and it ends down in District 5. And it's a spreadsheet basically that just gives you an idea of the type of jobs that are going to be coming up and the proposed bid dates of those jobs. Once again, do we have any questions at this point?
We do not.
All righty. So we're going to launch in and talk about our minor B contracts. Minor B contracts are any contract that is less than $333,000. And we in Caltrans try to target small businesses for these contracts. And it's a good way to get started on a contract with the state to do a smaller contract. And when you come in here, you're going to see that this is a Caltrans site, but then we redirect you to Cali Procure, where those jobs details actually reside. And when you get to Cali Procure, your first look at Get Public Procurement Information. Then your next tab will look at See Current Bids. And when you get there, this is the screen you'll see. And I know this is really small, but like I said, you'll get a PDF of this later. In their jobs, an event is what a project is called. So they'll have an event name, an event ID. If you want to look at the entire state and all the agencies that are listed on eProcure, you'll leave department blank, or you can put this drop down and look for a specific category. If you're looking for Caltrans, you will put in the 2660 code, which is for Caltrans, and then hit search, and then it will populate only the Caltrans jobs. The jobs on here are a quick look. It's Department of Corrections, Department of Developmental Services. There are some Caltrans jobs, Fish and Wildlife. So it is all of the state agencies in one spot on the contracts register. The second thing you want to do is be specific on where you search. If you're only willing to work in the few counties that are around your, where you have your business, you can select service areas that are near you. So service areas are actually the counties in the state. So on this particular one, I searched for some of the Central California counties. Then once that is complete, you'll scroll down and you'll hit search, and it will bring you to different contracts that are available from that particular search. It'll give you the contact information of the person who has let the contract. You can go here and download specifics of the contract. And also our architectural and engineering contracts, quite often they're small. Those quite often are drafting contracts, environmental contracts, and they are housed, the basic information is with our Division of Procurement and Contracts. But when you click the advertisement link, you're going to find out that once again, you're going to go over to Cali Procure. And you'll look for those contracts the same way we just looked for other types of contracts on Cali Procure.
We did receive some questions regarding the presentation, and I've responded to all that it will be posted. It is a lot of information to take in, but it will be posted on the District 5 YouTube channel.
Correct. Correct. There'll be a recording of this presentation, as well as you will get a PDF of this exact presentation in an email.
Thank you, Anne.
You're welcome. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the certifications, the business certifications that Caltrans and other state agencies look for. There's small business, small micro business, small business working on public works contracts, disabled veteran business enterprises, and disadvantaged business enterprise. The way that Caltrans and other agencies work with these groups or these businesses, for our state-funded projects and for our purchasing, small business or micro business and small business with public works, for every dollar we spend, a quarter of it will go to the small business, and 5 cents will go of that dollar to a disabled veteran business. Excuse me. So those are state-funded jobs, and that includes the new gas tax that California has. And then there's federally funded projects. And if there's any money at all from the federal government, even $1, it becomes a federal project. And that's when we use disadvantaged business enterprises. And our annual goal for the entire department with all of our jobs is 17.6%. As we saw in the earlier contract, there was a 13% requirement. Some are lower than 17.6, some are higher, but our average goal we look for is 17.6% per annum for those contracts. And just wanted to, we're doing a lot of work on the highways now because of Senate Bill 1, and that is the gas tax. So we're rehabilitating a lot of roads and doing a lot of work, and that's why we're looking for businesses to work with. And if you are a prime or even another small business and you're looking to get work with a certified small business, you go to Cali Procure and on this public search, and you can put the business name, or you can just hit micro business, small business for public works, disabled veteran, you can look for construction, manufacturing, or service, and then you can add keywords. Say if you're looking for a concrete contractor, and then you hit search, and all of the businesses that have the keywords that you put in here will be populated into a list that you'll see. So you can find other small businesses to work with here as well. And then if you qualify to be a certified small business or a disabled veteran business, you can become certified if you're not already. And those were part of webinars we've already done. And these two links that you'll be getting later, you can look at those to get real specific information about getting certified. And for a small, we get asked quite often about what are the requirements for these certifications. For a small or micro business, you have to be independently owned and operated. Both your business and your owner have to live in California or be in California. You have to have 100 or fewer employees and make an annual gross receipts of 15 million or less over an average of over 3 years. And then for a micro business, it's the same previous requirements about employees and domicile, but a micro business has annual receipts of 5 million or less. And it's the same certification, it's just there'll be a SB for small business, MB for micro business. Also in the small business category are small business for the purpose of public works. This is a fairly new, it's only a year old, and it was a lot of our public works small business contractors were being aged out or timed out because public works contracts are so expensive that they were making so much money they were put out of the small business categories. So this was created by legislation, and it's basically the same. You're independently owned. You and your business are domiciled in California, but the average annual receipts over 3 years is 36 million instead of 15 million. And also the public works contractors can have twice as many employees, so 200 or fewer employees for a small business for public works. Then for a disabled veteran business, it has to be a veteran of the U.S. military. You have to have a service-connected disability of at least 10%, and that has to be on your DD-214, which is your discharge paperwork. And the veteran must also reside in California. The veteran must be owned 51%, and the daily operations have to be run by a disabled veteran, one of the disabled veterans. We have some businesses that are more than one veteran together running the business, but one of them has to be actually operating the business. Then disadvantaged business enterprise, once again, this is for the federal contracts. And they have to be 51% owned by the individual who is socially or economically disadvantaged. And the 6 groups here are the groups that are involved in this contract. And so if you fall into that, you can look for the certification with our department in the Office of Civil Rights. And the link to that is here, and you'll scroll down on their screen to get to the disadvantaged enterprise section, and you can click on become certified, and that gives you the information, shows you can print the application. This particular is a fairly complicated application process, and so we're going to have a webinar on Friday if you're interested. Same signups that you did for this, but it'll be on Friday from 10 to noon, and it's a certification workshop that gives you all the information you'll need to become a disadvantaged business enterprise. And now what we want to ask is, Once you're certified, once you know how to work with the state, we want you to be the advocate for your business. You are the best one to know what your business does, what your business can offer to a prime or to Caltrans. And so using the links that we've showed you, get out there and market your business to the state. And one last thing is, if your business, especially if we are purchasing supplies from you, it's really helpful if your business takes Visa cards, because the state of California purchasers have Cal cards such as this one that makes payments for you and for us much simpler. And as a reminder, each district has a small business liaison. That list can be reached at the link that we show here. And as well on the Caltrans website, from all of the websites on the tabs, if you click Caltrans near me, a interactive map will pop up and you can actually click these live links and go to the websites for each and every district within the state. So do we have any final questions for?
We do.
Okie doke.
Do minor B opportunities get mailed out through Cal eProcure like other public works projects, or do we have to search for those opportunities?
Quite a few of them are on Cal eProcure, and so search there. Sometimes in emergency situations, we use what's called the small business DVBE option, and we are allowed to contact two businesses, either two small businesses or two disabled veteran businesses, and get quotes directly from them, because in an emergency, quite often we need to roll pretty fast. But Cal eProcure is where the majority of them are listed.
Is MBE the same as DBE?
MBE, years ago, it was called Meeby Weeby, MBE, WBE, and it was Minority Business Enterprise, Women Business Enterprise. They are a similar certification, but the DBE is a federally run program, and if you were previously an MBE or a WBE, you need to certify now as a DBE, a disadvantaged business enterprise, because that is what the federal government requires for our contracting.
If we are small business certified, do we still need the small business public works certification to qualify for some contracts, or does small business supersede the small business public works?
Small business public works, it would be good to go in and request you become, if you do a lot of public works jobs, simply because it gives you a larger financial threshold. But they're the same, they're certified in the same manner, and small business public works just simply gives your business more room to grow and to earn more money.
I think that's it for now, Anne.
We want to offer additional resources to learn and to grow your business. There are 5 procurement technical assistance centers called PTACs in California. They're listed on the link here. There's small business development centers throughout the state of California. And the Federal Small Business Association also has offices in California to help you. And if you're interested in growing your business and learning more, the Department of General Services has quite a few events, and they have a calendar. And Caltrans Office of Civil Rights, which is the office the small business program works through, has a calendar that you can also search for your events. And then we want to thank all of those partners who helped promote this particular section.
I'd like to thank our partners in advertising, who are also resources for you as business owners. NorCal PTAC and Monterey Bay PTAC, who are both procurement technical assistance centers. The Small Business Development Centers, Cal Poly SBDC, Cal Coastal SBDC, the Economic Development Collaborative, the Associated General Contractors of California, the many chambers of commerce, including the Solvang Chamber and Santa Maria Chamber, the Caltrans Office of Civil Rights, Granite, and CPM Logistics. I'd also like to thank my counterparts throughout the state, the Caltrans District Small Business Liaisons, for their assistance in promoting and advertising this series. CPM Logistics would like to ask that you stop by the Santa Barbara and Carpinteria Highway 101 website, and I'll send you the link to learn more about the project and bid opportunities with Granite. So we will stay on the webinar for another minute or so. If there's any questions, please enter them in your chat box. And if your question isn't answered, please email smallbusinessadvocate@dot.ca.gov.
And then with that, we want to thank you for your participation today.